Well, welcome, super second grade team. This is a professional development delivered by me, Miss Jackson, from the Early Learning Department, and the fabulous Miss Tatum. So this training is reading and math routines for K through second, and it's also going to discuss a little bit of your schedule. All right, so our session norms for today: be open to new learning, work together as a community. So we put you all with two, so everybody has a partner to work with. Be fully present by participating actively and cooperatively. Invite and welcome contributions of every member and listen to each other. Monitor your technology for learning. Use the parking lot of questions and have fun. And we won't use technology anytime soon, so if you have it, you can put it away.
And if you have any questions with me about parking lot, because we're so fit for time, if you have questions that we can answer at the end or come to your class to answer it, you can write it on the sticky notes and just post them on the board when you get ready to leave, and we can get those answers. And
we'll address them. All right, so here's our agenda. We're going to take a look at the balanced literacy and the math schedule. So that's going to look at your 120-minute block and your 90-minute math block. For the math routines, we're going to go through the first three components: the calendar, fluency and measurement routines, and how to incorporate the math concept word wall. For reading routines, we're going to go through phonics, the morning message, and the word study routines. So for each math and reading, we're going to be looking at those first three components of your day. So let's take a look at our ELAR and math block schedule. So we're going to start with the math schedule. So at the end of this session, you and your team are going to get together and put your actual minutes to these times. So they're broken down into components for you. So then you're going to get together and put your actual time to this 90-minute math block. Did she say what days she wants them?
By Friday. So also, while we're getting your email addresses, we're going to share a Google Doc with you guys that's going to have that all the information that we're sharing as far as like the morning message. Some of the documents is going to be on that Google Doc. But she wants in the block schedule template is on there too. What she wants you guys to do is one person, you guys get together and figure out the schedule, fill it out, and upload it on your regular type Google Doc. But we ask also that you load it up on the one that we're going to share too, so we can have that. So she just wants one. Self-contained will have one. And then the two departmentalized math and reading, you guys will have one. So it should be a total of 4. 2 for the bilingual teachers and 1 for the math departmentalized teachers and 1 for the Gen Ed reading teachers, okay?
So when we mean time, for example, let's say your math starts at 11 o'clock. Then on your schedule, we'll see 11 to 11:15 calendar math, 11:15 to 11:25 daily routine. So you're breaking it up minute by minute so that we can see what part of the calendar or what part of your schedule that you'll be in during these components. On the schedule, you'll notice that these are starred. So this is the part of your schedule that we're going to be focusing on today. And you will have all of this in your uploaded, like she said, on the drive. That way you have a copy of the minutes broken down for you.
And also this is focusing on both of the blocks. It's focusing on your next 30 days, right? So for your next great day, best day ever, this is some of the things, these are the components that they're going to be looking for, okay?
So, and we're not going to take a lot of time on this because you're really just putting the minutes, and then we're going to be focusing most of our time today on the 3 components. That's the focus for reading and math. But just to kind of go through, the calendar math is 15 minutes, daily routine is 10 minutes, lesson introduction and vocabulary development is 10, guided practice is 10 minutes, and that's where your students are doing hands-on cooperative lessons. Independent practice is 15 minutes, small group and math stations are 25 minutes, and then you end with your DOL, which is 5 minutes. Any questions on the math block? Okay.
For your balanced literacy block schedule, you have the first 3 components that we're going to be focusing on is your phonics, and that is your alphabet sound cards. your morning message, and your word study. And for your phonics cards, we've already pre-printed for everyone on cardstock the phonics cards that are going to go up. They're expected to be up in your room for our reading teachers. And your morning message, we already have the actual morning message book that's on the Google Doc that is for the whole school year. The only thing, again, for our bilingual teachers, because it's a resource that has been pre-purchased by me and I just used it with my campus, the bilingual teachers, you will have to translate it into Spanish. But again, it's there for a resource. And then your word study is what we're going to show you that is already being developed by the K-2 curriculum department that is on Curriculum Central. And we're just going to show you how to use that and actually get used to those routines, doing those routines daily. The second, the third, fourth part is comprehension, mini lessons, 30 minutes, guided reading, 30 minutes, your DOL, 5 minutes, your writing workshop mini lesson, which is really your grammar lesson where you would teach your verbs, adverbs, adjectives, nouns. You would teach that mini lesson and then go into your writing, going through the stages of writing in your writing workshop, and then your writing DOL, which will go back to that writing grammar lesson that you did with the students.
All right. All right, so just briefly, we wanted to take you through the K-2 curricular documents. These are the ones that you are using. We wanted just to make sure we highlighted where you could get them. You go to Curriculum Central, and then at the top it tells you Content Department, so you click on that, and then you would click on K-2 instructional documents, and it would take you here. So these are our 6 weeks at a glance and our WAGs, and they're under kinder, first, and second grade. So you all would be at the very right column. Also, if you have any questions about our curriculum documents, there is a video on that same page right above where you would obtain your documents, and you can click on that and it gives you more information on how to access them. But I think at this point everybody knows how to access those documents. Correct? Okay. So we don't want to spend too much time. So now we're going to get into the meat. And Ms. Tatum, if you'll time me, we have about 50 minutes, about 25 minutes, and then we'll switch. I just want to make sure that we stay on track. So for math, so the first 15 minutes is your calendar math. So when you open up your lesson, your day, this is what we're going to focus on. So these are all of the components of our calendar math. And I even provided a model, a sample of what the wall would look like. So we'll kind of walk through these components and then I'll model going through them. You're going to have, I think we might post this PowerPoint, so if you don't have right word for word, you'll have it uploaded onto Google. So just another additional thing on this calendar math is we put numbers for each component so you know which one you start with and then which one you go to, because sometimes it's like, ooh, do I do that next? Oh, what do I do next? So it's already numbered. So this picture is going to be uploaded for you, and the resources are available under Curriculum Central, which we'll go through in just a second. So for calendar math, you always want to start by reviewing the date. Today is, yesterday was, tomorrow will be. I'm going to kind of front load you with what you're going to see before we go through the calendar. And then we want to do days of the week, months of the year songs. So you always want to incorporate songs so that the students are making connections and it makes it fun for them. We're going to count the number of days that we've been in school. So this will become your number of the day. You're going to add the number of the day to the daily counter, which is at the bottom, which is your daily counter. And then you're going to write the number on the place value chart, which is up here. And then you're going to use tally marks and write the number to record the number of the days. So then we're going to move to our frequency chart.
And make sure you let them know it's a frequency chart, because when you move into using the academic language, but when you move into your data analysis components,
they're going to need that. That's a part of that. Use base 10 blocks to represent the number of the day. Then we're going to add our coins for the daily depositor. And then we're going to use straws to represent number of the day. So this is a base 10 representation. We're going to have a money representation, and we're also going to have a real world representation. That way the students are making connections with these numbers. And then we're going to count the numbers on the 100s chart. And I put a disclaimer to, it depends on your grade level what you go up to, because you're not going to count 1 to 100 every day. You're going to break it down so that they become familiar with that 100s chart. So that's another picture of it that we're going to upload so that you have a sample. So I'm going to go through. And this should take about 15 minutes. When you start at the beginning of the school year, it's going to take a little bit longer, and you won't go through every single component that first week or maybe even that second week. It takes time to get through all of these components. Okay? So you're building to that. Now, you're going to start with the day. So today, and I just created numbers so it may not match what October is. So today is October, and we are Monday the 8th. We'll just say the 8th. So we're going to write October, Monday, I'm sorry. I should go first. I apologize. That doesn't sound right in my head, but why do I keep writing that out? It's Monday. It's because it's a Monday. October the 8th. 2016. So if today's Monday the 8th, 2016, what was yesterday? Sunday, October 7th, 2016. And if today is October 8th, 2016, what will tomorrow be? Tuesday, October 9th, 2016. And I've even seen where they put little tabs that says today is, yesterday was, tomorrow will be, so you can also include those. So now we're going to go through our Days of the Week song. So do you all know how to do it with the Munsters?
Addams Family?
The Addams Family. Y'all know how to do that one? So here we go. Days of the week. 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 There's Sunday and there's Monday. There's Tuesday and there's Wednesday. There's Thursday and there's Friday. And then there's Saturday. Days of the week. 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 Good job, boys and girls. Now we're going to look at our months of the year. Does anybody know a song for that one?
Macarena.
You know the Macarena? See, I didn't know that one when I saw that on the list. Do you want to sing that one?
February, March, April.
January, February, March, April, May, June, July, August, September, October.
December.
Day, months of the year.
Something like that.
Okay, and so the other one is no, that one was January, February, March, April, May, June, July, August, September, October, November, December. These are the months of the year. So it just helps them make connection through sing-song. So if our month is October, what number is October? Well, October is month number 10, and we can rewrite our date using 10/8/2016. So the 10 would take place on the October. And the cards that I already have the numbers to help facilitate that for the students.
So should we say 2016 or 2016?
2016. That's just a bad habit of mine. 2016.
I don't mind too, so.
Yep, 2016. So that's first, then this would be second. So the third, now we're going to be looking at our daily counter. So when we left on Friday, boys and girls, we were on the 21st day of school. Now we're here on Monday. So how many days have we been in school? If we were in school 21 days on Friday, today's Monday, 22. Now, counting by twos, we're circling our numbers in red. So if we ended in counting by fives, we're boxing our numbers in green. So after 20, Why do we have a circle and a square? Turn and talk to your neighbor. Why do we have a circle and a square boxed around 20? Talk to your neighbor. Okay, is there a group that wants to share out? Why do we have 20 circled in red and boxed in green? Miss Newland?
Because the number 20 is part of skip counting by twos and part of skip counting by fives.
Exactly. So you want to make sure that you have a pattern for them to follow. So today we left off at 21 on Friday, and now we're at 22. So can we do anything to 22? Can we circle it in red, or can we box it in green? Miss Rogers. And why do you say we can circle it in red? Because we're counting by twos.
And all the numbers that are 10, you write that number in blue.
In blue. Okay? So it just helps with some patterning. So so I'm kind of switching back and forth from modeling and talking to you. But once you figure out your number of the day, or the numbers you've been in school, that becomes your number for the rest of the calendar. Okay? So we've been in school for 22 days. So if I wanted to put that into my place value chart, how would I write that? How many ones in the number 22? 2. Thank you. What number will go in the tens place? 2. So we have 22. Now we're going to add it to our frequency chart. Now with our frequency chart, we are counting by tally marks, but also writing the number for that count of tally marks. So we ended on 21 on Friday. So if I want to get to 22, what do I need to do? Add one more tally, and we're at 22. Now remember with tally marks that we talked about, every 5 we bundle. Do we have enough to bundle for our 5? No. When will we have enough to bundle for our 5?
In 3 days.
In 3 days. So then we'll bundle in 3 days. Okay? So now we have 22. Now we're going to add to our base 10 blocks. So inside of our bag, we should have how many?
2.
We should have 2 to represent our tens place. And how many in our ones?
2.
We're still on Friday. We haven't added them in yet. So how many will we have? We have 1. So now what do I need to add in order to represent 22? One more unit. One more unit. So we have, okay, we only have, the time is going to be crazy. We're going to have to kind of speed it up a little bit. So if you notice, we have 2 ones, and that matches our place value chart, and we have 2 rods. That also matches our place value chart. So you want to make sure that you make that connection with them. Now for our daily depositor, on Friday when we left, we had 21 cents that was made up of 2 dimes and 1 penny. So we're in school 22 days now. So what do I need to add? Turn and talk to your neighbor. So I would give them opportunities to do that. So it's not just all you giving them information. So I would need to add 1 penny. And you also want to make sure that you're exchanging. So once you get past 25, you can take out the money and put in a quarter. So you're exchanging the money. Okay. Now we're going to represent using a real world item. So we were using straws. So on Friday when we left, how many ones did we have? 1. And how many tens did we have?
2.
2. And that totaled how much? 20 plus the 1 in our ones place. 21. So what would we need to do to make it 22? Add 1 more straw to the ones place. So now, as you can see, they all are a match. They're all representing. Together they're connecting. So I have 2 ones, and then I have 2 tens. The same here and the same here. Also the same in the piggy bank. And then you want to go through the 100s chart. So you can either have them by 2nd grade. They can count by 2s. They can count by 5s. You can even have them start later on counting by 3s. And of course you want to make them go through 10s. So you want to make sure that they're finding the pattern. But you don't want to just go 1 through 100. Okay? All right. Now, the last part is the number of the day. For you, this is the one it looks like. Is everybody familiar with this? So I was going to have you all do it separate, but because of time, I'll just go through this one. The number of the day should represent the number of days you've been in school. Technically, the number of the day is a routine. It should not be a part of the calendar. But it's really important that you're utilizing all of these different modes with your numbers every day. And since calendar is 15 minutes, you probably will have a little bit of extra time that you can go ahead and include number of the day during this time instead of the actual routine time. Okay? So our number for today, what's our number for today? 22. So what does it look like in money? So you would have them represent all of the different ways in money. Okay? So somebody just give me an example of what it would look like in money.
4 nickels and a penny.
Okay, so she says 4 nickels and 2 pennies. Also down here, I didn't tell you this with the daily depositor, you could use Velcro and actually use the actual coins to stick onto the piggy bank instead of just sticking it in a plastic bag.
And
It's much
also,
easier.
where we have baggies, the plastic solo cups
Yes,
are really good. You can just hot glue them on there so it's easy to see.
instead of the bags.
Manipulate too.
Yeah.
Instead of the bags.
And then you can pull them all out. So what does it look like in base 10? And we already have a representation. So if there's any strugglers, there's already something there. So what would that look like in base 10?
2 rods, 2 units.
In 2 units. Okay, so what would the word form be?
22.
And I would have them spell it out. 22. And expanded form?
20 plus 2.
20 plus 2. I would definitely be doing some more questioning in MRS, but because of time, we'll go through it. Is our number odd or even?
Even.
Even. And what, no, exactly, then you would want to ask them, how do you know that? And have them explain. They can look in their ones place. And that if the numbers have their partners. Okay? Number doubled?
44.
44. And if they have trouble, you can even have them bring their journal down so that they're working it out as well. And I would probably give them a copy too so that they're working out, which is what I had for you on there.
And then also you can have them reference back to your hundreds chart. This is 22. 22. If I double it, 1, 2. So making that
And then
back.
1, 2. So that would be your 22. And what would our number be halved?
11.
11. And then you find it on a number line for them, and you always want to make sure that you find your midpoint. So if our number's 22, which 2 tens does 22 come between? 20 and 30. So you would want to make sure you have a number line up, or you can have them use their 100s chart to find the 2 tens. So what's the midpoint? What's halfway between 20 and 30? 25. And I would always have them put where they think about 22 would go. So I would, and I have some space here. So I would write 22 and ask them if we were going to round, would 22 be closer to 20 or 30? So it starts helping them realize that you can use a number line to help you round. And the same with you would go through the 100s with them. So 20 would be between which hundreds? 0 and 100. And sometimes some people they're not sure what to put there, but you would put 0. And what's the midpoint? 50. And then you would have them put 22. Okay? Now, for the number of the day, I would always tell my students, when we start if our number is 22, once we go through all of these different operations, we should end up back to 22. So if we have 22 plus 1, 23 plus 10, 30, I'm sorry, it's 22.
No, it's
23 plus 1 plus 10, 33. You're going to continue from where you're at. So you're going to make your way back to this number. So 33 plus 100.
133.
133. Subtract 1.
132.
subtract 10,
122.
subtract 100.
22.
So-
OMG, I just learned something today. I did it wrong.
So I would always remind my students that if you know you did all of your operations correct, you'll end up back to your number of the day. Okay? Now, if you wanted to do it the way you were doing it, you could have them do it that way, but this is kind of a self-check for them. So if they did it correctly, they would end up back there. Okay? All right, so that was a kind of a quick overview, but those are going to be what is going to be expected of you during that 15 minutes of time. Okay? So now we're...
Question, do we have to have all of that on our boards?
Yeah.
And the students supposed to be in front of that?
Yes, you would want to pull them to a small group area, and you're up there at the front.
With all the routines we're about to go through in math and reading, it should be done whole group on, not at their table.
Right.
They should be on the carpet whole group.
Yep. So you make
So
sure
our
you have an
self-contained
area.
Teachers, you really have to think about a meeting space, and because your meeting space is going to be reading and math, and the departmentalized teachers, your meeting place might be smaller because you just have your reading stuff,
Right.
or just math. But it should not be done at the table for any of your routines or both blocks. It should be whole group on the carpet.
Do you mind passing out their folders? So in the folders, you're going to see the information, a hard copy of what we're going through as far as the reading component and then the math component. So you'll see this information in there. Now, as far as the daily routines go, these daily routines go over fluency and measurement mastery. That's what we're going to be focusing on. Now, where do you find them? It's under Curriculum Central. You go under the WAG, Additional Resources, and then you click on the Math Mats, Routines, and Resources. So this is what it looks like. Does everybody know how to get to the Additional Resources page? Okay. So once you click into Math Mats and Routines, this is what you're going to see. It's going to bring you to all of these folders, and you can even find information on visual vocabulary cards, the routines, problem solving, accountable talk, number fluency, coins. So it gives you a ton more information than just your routines. So here's our routine calendar. This is for the district. All grade levels are together. Your grade levels all the way to the right. So it tells you the routines that you should be doing for the first 6 weeks, second 6 weeks, and third 6 weeks. So we're going to focus on the first 6 weeks just to ensure that if any of those routines you have not completed, you need to go back and redo those to ensure that your students know exactly what it is that they're doing. At the bottom of the calendar, it tells you, here's a disclaimer, design other routines to address specific student needs. So if you know your students are having trouble with comparing or ordering, create a routine for that, for them, and you will probably find one in those folders. So the first one is the 5-frame routine, and also for second grade, it incorporates the 10-frame. So if you pull that out, it gives you a script. How much time, Ms. Tatum?
4 minutes.
It gives you a script on what you can do to show your students how to utilize this. If you'll pull out your 5-frame, please. So you're going to be on this for about a week. Remember, routines are only 10 minutes, so you want to make sure that you have rich discussion while you're implementing these. And I had those 5 frames come, or you would need double-sided counters, which I already had in sets for you all. That way we're not taking up more instructional time trying to separate them. So because of time today, I'm not going to pass them out, but you want to make sure that you have all of your routine material already set up so that you can just pass those out. One of the most important things with the routine, the 5-frame routine, is to show them the basic addition and subtraction up to 5. They use the 5-frame in first grade, so it's just a review. Now, one of the most important things I wanted to tell you about this 5-frame is to adapt it to second grade. You can use it to show start unknown or change unknown. So if you tell the students, I have some let's say, for example, you tell them that the counters are apples. So I have some apples, and my mom gave me 3. So how many apples did she give me? And if you're using the 5 frame, if they put down 3 counters, they'll see that 2 are not filled. So they'll know. So I would use this definitely for your grade level as start unknown or change unknown, because that's definitely going to help them see those structures using a small number like 5. Okay, there's more information on these 5 frames. Please make sure that you go through and read it and utilize these. Utilize that 5 frame and the 10 frame, because it gives them a lot of foundational work. And sometimes we think, oh, that might be too easy for my students, but if we think about how they're really doing and some of the things they're struggling in, they may not have this number fluency. So that's why they're going to continue to struggle. The 100s chart and the 100s grid is really good for them to compare in order. And this talks about one more and one less. So you want to make sure that they know the pattern going up and going down. So when they're going up the chart, they're subtracting 10. When they're going down, they're adding 10. When they're going to the right, they're adding 1. When they're going to the left, they're adding or they're subtracting 1. So you want to make sure they know that pattern, which is going to help you when you do your number of the day, or I'm sorry, when you do your calendar routine. Okay, they need to become fluent with these numbers. And once they get to 3rd grade, we're seeing that they're not. So we want to make sure we're building that foundation. Have you all seen this grid? So with this grid, you would fill in a number. Let's say if we put the number 25, eventually they should have enough foundation work that they would know when I go to the right, I'm adding 1, so that must be 26. I'm adding 1, that must be 27. I'm adding 1, that must be 28. And when they go down, they should know that they're adding 10. So if this is 25, this would be what? 35, 45, 55, and so on. Now, sometimes you can start in the middle somewhere. You don't always have to start at the top. You can start right here in the middle. They also do not put a title on that page, because you can also flip it around and have the student start down here. If they have that sense of up, down, left, and right and what the pattern is, they'll be able to fill in that chart. Okay? So roundup, really quickly, and I had a chart up here. Roundup does not have to be their number of the day. You can just pick any number, and sometimes it could be the month. Maybe it's a special number for your class. Maybe it's the number of students you have in your class. You would just write whatever number it is. Let's say it's the number 6. And they would tell you all the ways you can write 6. Maybe what 6 looks like on a domino. What 6 looks like on a dice. Maybe 6 fingers. 6 balloons. 6 tally marks. 6 in expanded form. Maybe 2 plus 2 plus 2. Or doubles. 3 plus 3. So they would just write all of the numbers that equal up to whatever your number for the roundup is. And this just gives you samples. That gives you samples. So this was your number of the day. That's the one we went through. Now, I'm going to kind of back up here really quick. I got like 1 minute. Your number fluency routines are only Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays. So you would do this Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, Monday, Wednesday, Friday. You want to take at least a week for the routine so that they get familiar with them. Are there any questions? I know it's going so fast, so I feel like...
For the roundup, will they have anything in front of them, or we just ask them?
At first, I would just have you do it. You need to model it, and then eventually they can have one in front of them where you can even tell them, okay, guys, everybody write something on roundup, and then you share out. Okay?
Can you repeat what you were saying about the Monday, Wednesday, Friday? I missed that.
So there's 2 types of routines. You have number fluency, which builds their number development, and that's only on Monday, Wednesday, Friday. So you're only either doing the 5 frame or the 10 frame or the roundup. Those are only going to be Monday, Wednesday, or Friday, and you have 10 minutes to do a routine with that. On Tuesday and Thursday, you're going to be doing the measurement routines. These are all of your routines for the year or for this first semester. So you're only doing these Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, the measurement These are your fluency, number fluency routines. And these are just samples of your fluency, but there's a lot more in that folder. So for the measurement mastery, because measurement's low across the district, we're going to do measurement routines in that 10 minutes for your routines only on Tuesdays and Thursdays. Only on Tuesdays and Thursdays. Now for second grade, they want them to be able to take an object and use non-standard units for this routine. So they would line up paper clips, which I had some. We were going to do a measurement, but we don't have very much time. And then you would want them to know that these items need to be end to end. So let's say, for example, they're measuring their journal. And we want to measure the length of their journal. So they would put the paper clips end to end. And then maybe on Thursday, you may have them use color tiles. And then they can compare. Why do you think we have more paper clips than the tiles? Or why do we have more tiles or less tiles? So you want to have that discussion. In all, even though we're kind of going fast, everything that they want you to do is in here. Everything they want you to do. And eventually they'll be comparing up to 3 items. You want to make sure that they know the difference between measuring for the length and then measuring something for the height. Okay? So make sure you read this. And this is going to be our focus, so if it feels like, oh, this is a lot, this is going to be our focus for the next 30 days. So we're going to also be able to help you implement that. In a math classroom, these are really your non-negotiables of what you need. You need a working clock, a number line, your 100s chart should be up, the QWC chart, which is this, should be up, and your 4-step problem-solving model. Those are your non-negotiables.
No cubes.
Yeah, no cubes. No cubes. I wanted to show you this. This is something I created. This is something I used in my class because we have so many mats that I just created a mat set for each student so that whenever if we were just working on the 10 frame, they would just fold to the 10 frame. And they already have everything that they need on their mat. So that it has the 5 frame. It has most of the routines. It has the quality work criteria chart, the whole part and the part whole. It has a organizer for comparing. It has place value, 100s chart, 5 frame, 10 frame, and then they would just fold it back up, whichever one they're using for that day, and then put it up. But they already have their set, and they're not sheets all over the place because we know these things, they disappear, they get lost.
They would pull that out while we're doing the routine.
Yes, but remember it's only one a day, so you may just be on this page on Monday.
So we should rent like Monday on one day, Tuesday on the other day, so they know.
For the first 6 weeks of the routine, you were supposed to focus on for a whole week. So I would have done 5 frame Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. A quick 10-minute routine using that script that I gave you.
So we don't do.
A different one every time.
Okay.
You
so
focus
we don't
on.
do 5, 10.
No.
And round up all 3 of those Mondays.
No. Nope.
Okay.
So if you look back on your calendar,
Sorry.
these are your weeks. So week 1, 5 frame. Both week 2 and week 3 are 10 frame. This will be week 4 and week 5.
Gotcha. Okay.
So I'm only going to do 5 frame Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Does that make more sense?
Yeah.
You don't do all of those in one day. I'm just showing you multiple ones because this is going to get you through about 5 or 6 weeks.
Gotcha.
Oh my gosh, we're going to be out of time. Okay, so really quickly for your math concept word wall, you want to make sure that you have a math wall, a math concept wall. So these go over the reporting categories. In your folder, I have already given you these headers. So all you have to do is make sure you find a spot and put these headers up. On here is showing them going across. Miss Rogers has one where it has 2 on the top, 1 in the middle, 2 at the bottom. And I quickly just put one up here that shows them going down, but you can even use your cabinets. So you want to make sure that you're putting these 5 concepts, and underneath those will be your vocabulary words. Okay? Now, the main part of this was making sure that you introduce your vocabulary that you're going to be using for that day. So for example, today, boys and girls, our lesson objective is going to be to use a number line to help us add and find the sum. So today, when you're going through your math problems, you're going to be using a number line to add your numbers to help us find the sum. So then I would go through and talk about what each one is, and then throughout the lesson, I would keep referring back to this. Okay? Also, you want to encourage your students to use this for discussions, for explanations, for questions during their writing. So once I use it and introduce it, doesn't mean I don't use it anymore. Once you've introduced it, then that tells your students, okay, these are our new words. Now we're going to continue to use it. Kind of like what we did during the model, how we went back to it. So that's what you want to make sure you do. Once you've gone through the vocabulary for your lesson, put it on your word wall. Then it becomes a part of your classroom. So I think this is the part that we're not seeing, because a lot of the word walls or your math concept walls are blank. So we want to make sure that after you've introduced it, you've used it, put it to your word wall, and then you're going to keep referring to it. And you want to make sure that your students are using it. They should be visible and they should be visual. Are there any questions on that? I know it's going pretty quick, and Miss Tatum's time is going to go.
I just got an email from ISN from my boss, and that's one thing they come around to check. So this is vocabulary, and the vocabulary that you've already done is not a register here, it's not a KLR. And that's the next thing that they're looking at.
Are there any questions? I'm so sorry. We're actually shorter on time than what we thought. So we kind of try to go through.
Really, someone else can take our kids to recess.
Yeah. What'd you say? Did someone else take our kids to recess?
See, it really.
To recess after
Okay.
Like you said, if there's anything that you're still not clear of, because that was really quick, make sure you put a post-it and we will answer your questions.
Say it again.
If there's any questions that you have or it's not very clear because we had to go through that pretty quickly, make sure you do put post-its up on the parking lot near Roundup, and then we will definitely get back to you and answer your questions.
And Miss Bensel, if you can go to the prize table and get your prize. Also, if you do pick the base 10 container kit, she used some of your manipulative, so you can get those by tomorrow.
And guys, while she's picking that, if you want to go ahead and come grab your
Pizza.
pizza, that she can get started, because the time really goes really.
That's cool. That's the ETA. It has the squares, the back.
There's paper towels over there, guys. Let me see if I can find some paper.
How do you stop it? Press that.